Hello, and welcome to episode 294 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. It's so good to have you here. We're going to be hacking on Firefoxy stuff today. It's going to be great. Going to be trying to fix a bug. I hope some bugs, a bug, an issue related to private browsing, some confusing UI, and we'll see where we get with that. Let's get started. I'll start by sharing my screen. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, today is July 13th, 2022, episode 294, and a reminder that no plan survives breakfast. I think I know what I want to do today. I think I do. But who knows what's going to happen? Maybe it turns out that whole private browsing thing is not going to pan out. That could happen. I might get stuck, sideline, rabbit hole. It could happen. And that's all part of the fun, just watching me deal with that. And the second thing is that this agenda that we're looking at is something that you have access to. If you're watching this on Mozilla, check out the details section of the video. If you're watching this on diode.zone, it'll be in the video description. Same with YouTube, check the video description. And if you're watching this on Twitch, let me just drop the link into the Twitch chat now. Agenda. There it is. All right. What's there to say? There's an episode guide. You should check it out if you're curious about this stream and want to know what I've talked about in the past. Maybe you want to search through things I've talked about, or maybe you want to add your own notes or addenda or corrections. The episode guide is completely viewer driven. It's something that is I have written very little. Viewers just like you, predominantly Smurf D, have written reams and reams of information. It's pretty great. So if you want to contribute to that, there are instructions here on how you can do that. You can contribute to the episode guide if you want to add your own notes, addenda, corrections, etc., etc. Okay, a couple of things I want to do before I start getting into hacking. The first is that there's no episode next week. I'm going on vacation. Haven't had one of those in a while, so I'm going on vacation. Gonna hit the beach. The second thing is that after several years of being away, the joy of profiling has returned. Let me hang on a second. I gotta let me just quickly switch for a second so I have to go to Mozilla and get the link, but there are Moco confidential videos in there, so I'm gonna just be real. I could have done this on a different window. I apologize. But here is the link. Okay, I just copied the link. I'm going to share my screen. The link to the joy of profiling is here. And if you're not sure what the joy of profiling is, it is a stream that I do with a couple of colleagues in the Mozilla Toronto office where we analyze performance profiles from people who are having performance issues with Firefox, and we try and come up with, analyses on the fly. We just read them on the fly. We record ourselves reading them. And if you are having a performance issue with Firefox and you want us to analyze your performance profile, we can do that and record it live for you, and you can see what we end up talking about. And if you want to get involved there, you can submit a profile for analysis. There's a form right here. I'm going to put submit a profile for analysis. And it's basically, fill in as much information as you can. Follow the instructions here on how you can collect a profile. Whoops. Oh, boy, that's missing. I better update that. Reporting a performance profile. Hang on. Profiling. Oh, you know what? I think it's all moved. I'll bet you it's at Firefox or profiler.firefox.com. I'll bet you the documentation is in here. Getting started. Advanced topics. Getting started. Enable the pop-up. Open the pop-up using DevTools. How do you... There's definitely... Maybe it's in Firefox source docs. Performance problem. Reporting a performance problem. Here it is. Okay, so I need to update the form real quick. So let me update the form. Submit a profile for analysis. I'm going to edit the form. Got it. So we're going to edit the form. There we go. I think that's saved automatically, so There you go. Follow these instructions, and that will tell you how you can collect a profile and share them with us. And that's very useful if we're going to try and make your Firefox faster. Think of it as like a quick MRI of your Firefox, and it records a small window of time, or more like a black box from like an airplane, like a flight recorder, and we can use it to like analyze where things are slowing down. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that I want to show off something really, really, really cool that Mozilla has been working on. Codename Bergamo. I think we've been doing this, or Bergamot. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. We have been collaborating with some academic researchers on doing fully client-side translation in the browser, like text translation by machine, but locally. You know how Google Translate, for example, you can like, or I think Microsoft has a similar service where you can like translate a web page and like you just send the text to Google or Microsoft and then it comes back and it updates on the page. So that's great, except that all of the text goes to Google and Microsoft, and who knows what they're doing with that. Like, have you read the privacy policy? Pretty liberal. So what's interesting about this is that it is fully client-side. Nothing leaves your machine. Nothing leaves your machine. And that sounds pretty magical. And it is, except that it's not magic. It's just really smart software development and really excellent math and science and machine learning. Stuff that we've learned over many years, we've gotten quite good at, and we've worked with some academic researchers on this. And this is an extension that you can install in your browser right now. I have it installed. And we're working with like a bunch of different people in the consortium. You can go to browser.mt. Hang on a second. Let me update this. We're going to say install the extension here. It's free. It's free. That's the first thing. And what that will do is it'll allow you to like let me try to give you a demonstration. I'm going to go to like Italian Wikipedia. Where is Italian Wikipedia? Right here. So I've got the add-on installed, and so this notification bar comes up at the top saying like, hey, I noticed that this page is in Italian. Let me pull up a particular page. Here. I'm presuming this is about the Greek god Mercury, aka Hermes. Let's translate. So here we go. Highlight potential errors in red. That's interesting. So let's translate from Italian. It downloads a bunch of material. Automatic translating. Boom! Mercury is a god of Roman mythology with multiple characteristics. So it's even better that it was Italian because it's Roman mythology. But this is pretty great. Look, it's quite readable. And that nothing left the machine. We just downloaded the language pack for Italian, and then the translation occurred. Someone asks, is there a timeline for adding additional languages? I don't think it does French yet. Let's find out. I don't know if does it do French yet? Wikipedia.org. It doesn't look like it does French yet. But I want to show something else off. What does it download and where does it store it? I mean, it downloads the trained model and the language pack for the language that you're attempting to translate. That's what it downloads. I don't have all of the details. You should definitely go to browser.mt and read about like how it works, how you can contribute, etc. You can read the source code and figure out, would it be possible to clear it? Yeah, probably. But I don't know how. I don't know where it's almost certainly storing it in your profile directory somewhere. It might be in like IndexedDB, or it might be in, I don't know where it's storing it because it's an extension. Who knows what it's doing? Like the web extension storage mechanism. I want to show something else that's really cool, which is that along with the extension, you can do this other stuff. Like there's this really cool demo. Here, how do I click on this link? Mozilla.github.io/translate. Okay, and this will do French. This has got your French language pack. So I don't know why it's not yet available in the translation extension yet, because in theory it should be able to do it. But what this is going to do is it's going to do live translation. I'm going to try and translate from English to French live without sending anything to the cloud. It's all happening on my machine. So here we go. I am going to attempt to do live machine translation using Mozilla Firefox. It's all client side. There's nothing leaving the machine. Hopefully, this is effective. So, I mean, the fact that I was trying to do it in real time is pretty aggressive. Is this working? I don't know if anyone here speaks French or is fluent in French. Hopefully this is like, it's reading all right. Let me know. But you can try this yourself, and then I can choose like a different language. I'm going to choose Estonian next. It's going to install the translation model. This is apparently this in Estonian. Let's try Czech. Any requests? Anyone here speak German? Let me try German. And what's interesting about what's going on here is that let's translate it back to English. It's all customers. Customers, client side. I guess that's what's going on there. Because it's all happening client side, it's all happening using WebAssembly, I believe. You can install this library on your own website. Like, that's what this website is doing. It's not using the add-on. You can go to this website in another browser. Let me open up, what do I have here? Let me open up Safari. I think this will work in Safari. And, oh, no, it's not working in Safari. Let me try a different extension. Or, let me try a different browser. Let's try Chrome. I think this will work in other browsers. Like, I don't think this is relying on the, I don't think this is relying on the extension to do this. This is something that you can actually install on a website. So, let's try Russian beta. Is this working? Using WebAssembly? I don't know if that worked. I can't read Russian. But that's all happening in the web page, not like the browser extension is not doing anything. You can just like have this library exist on your website. Imagine, for example, you run a forum. You can install something on your website to make it easier for users to speak different languages to one another with like automatic built-in translation without needing to like get a license to go use Google or Microsoft's translation service. You can just like have this thing available for your users and nothing leaves their machine. No violation of privacy policies. It's amazing and you should check it out. Use this stuff. You can find the source code for this web page if you're curious about how it works right here. That's github.com/Mozilla/translate. Pretty cool. It's like up to an hour ago. I think this is pretty recently created, but you can see like how it's working, and this is what it's been tested on. Compatible and tested on Firefox, Chrome, Edge, Brave, Nightly for Android. You can do it on Android. Wow. It'll work on Android. That's incredible. So there you go. Check that out. Maybe contribute. Maybe one of the things I think would be kind of cool. I'd like to learn how to train. Train it on like a fictitious language or like a made-up language like Klingon or a designed language like Esperanto or even just like a fun variation on English like pirate. Like can you train the Bergamo engine on like just pirate, and then you type something like hello, how are you, and then maybe in the other end it would go like yar, how be thy day going, matey. I don't know if that's what would come out the other end. I guess it really depends on the training model or on the training set. Anyways, I thought that was really cool and I want to share it. You should check that out. Also, all of this markdown is broken because I wrote it in Oh, it's all being escaped. So let me. I keep forgetting that I'm in the rich editor. So there you go. There you go. I have updated the agenda. So hopefully, if you refresh the agenda, you've got links to all that stuff, and you should check it out. Okay, what are we working on today? Today, we're gonna work on a bug. I saw a friend over the weekend, and they said, "Hey, Mike, I love Firefox. Firefox is great. I use it all the time, but I'm noticing this really weird bug." And they thought it was a privacy issue, and at first I thought it was a pretty major privacy issue. Let me see if I can demonstrate. What's the easiest way for me to demonstrate this? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. The easiest way for me to, demonstrate this is here in, is this my local, what did I just, yeah, this is the one I built. Okay, so here I'm going to do this. Look away for a second. Don't look. I'm going to flip a preference. Don't look. Because like that, flipping the preference is kind of the secret of this whole thing. Don't look. Look away. Look away. Look away. Okay. So now you can look back. So suppose I go to some website like Facebook. And then if I inspect using the console here, and I say, hey, let's set a cookie. Document.cookie. I'm going to set a cookie. I'm going to say, it's a me, Mario. Can I do that? I think this is going to work. And then document cookie. Is that what happens if I read it back? Yeah, it's been a while. It's a me. So it's like, there's some JavaScript somewhere that's appending stuff, but it's kept that there. We've put that string there. Now I'm going to right click on Firefox here in the task menu. I'm going to say, okay, give me a new private window. Whoops. And what profile is this? Shoot. I think it's complaining because I've got more than one open. Close. New private window. There we go. What? Why are you asking that? This is not the bug, by the way. Profiles. Which profile is this? Current. Support. What is my current profile? This one is called temp profile default. Maybe this only works. Maybe these menu items don't work unless you, this is kind of tricky, unless you've like got an install. Okay, let me do this with my install of Firefox. So let's go over here. Look away again, look away. Don't you look at me. Don't look at me. Okay, so we know that works. I'm going to look away while I set this up and put myself in the special state. Hopefully, am I gonna screw myself with this profile? Maybe I'm gonna screw myself if I do that. Screw myself in that, like, I don't want, like, if I suddenly go into private, will it wipe out all my history? I definitely don't want that in my default profile. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna run this again, and let's suppose I once again go to Facebook, go to the console. Trust me, I will get to the bug here. There's your cookie. I'm gonna set it's a me Mario, and it's appended to the end. Now let's open a new private browsing window. Command-Shift-P opens a new private browsing window. Now suppose it opened and it was here, because that's what would happen if you like right-clicked on down here and you said like open a new private browsing window. It would like look like this. Suppose you went here, and now I go to Facebook and inspect, and I go document.cookie. Whoa, look at that. It's a me, Mario. That shouldn't be there. Because, or at least as a user, I might feel like, especially if I saw the private browsing window about private browsing show up, I'd be like, well, I thought this was a private browsing window. How are these two sharing state? That doesn't make any sense. It seems to break one of the guarantees of private browsing. That was what I originally thought. Yeah, a cookie leak. That's what it feels like, a cookie leak. And that's what I thought it was, but it's not what's happening. If you look, so what I was hiding before, what you weren't seeing, is that I have put this browser in a special state. I put it into always use private browsing mode. So both of these windows are in private browsing, and that's why the cookie is allowed to be shared. Like both of them are private browsing windows. Smurfy says, if you look on the regular browser, then yeah, it's still there, and over here, it's still here. Yep, they're both there. But because they're both private browsing windows, anytime, if you've ever had or ever used private browsing windows, one of the things you might notice is that as long as you've got one open, then, you know, they share the same state, like the same cookie jar, effectively, for stuff, like the same storage region. So if you ever have one private browsing window open, you log into Facebook, and you open a second private browsing window, and you leave that other one open, you will also be logged into Facebook in, if you look in a regular window, let's open a new window. Now, I don't actually know if this is a private one or not, because it's really difficult to tell in always private window mode, because we don't decorate it, it looks like. Document.cookie. Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. Like, we're always in private browsing. That's the thing, is that every window will be in private browsing mode. I think the only way around this is to like use a container. If you had like the containers add-on installed, then you could get a different container. But for now, what we've got is the ability, like if I were to shut down Firefox and restart it, because we're always using private browsing mode, it means that history is getting blown away every time you shut down, which is, you can like do that already with this stuff, is you can like clear history, you can clear the downloads, you can do all sorts of stuff. But this one does it all. It forgets everything because it's all in memory. Nothing gets written to disk. But the problem is that every window then is in private browsing. And that means they all share the same like in-memory storage location. And that's very confusing, especially when it offers you private windows. You know? The fact that you're always in a private state, and then it offers you almost like another level of private, is very confusing. And that's what I'm hoping to fix. Now, to just set your mind at ease, let's make sure that this would be super embarrassing if there's a cookie leak in the default case. I'd want to like stop the stream and go talk to our security people immediately, and I'd have to ask all of you to just sort of like cone of silence while we figure that out. But almost certainly, let's just double check. I want to like reassure you that private browsing does not, like an actual private browsing window in the normal configuration, is separate from the normal kind of window. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. So we've got our window here. We are not in private browsing, right? Yeah, because if I open a new private browsing window, I get the little decoration there. That's one of the differences. And it shows me about private browsing, this sort of like private style. So if I go to Facebook and I say, hey, let's set me a cookie, document, cookie, it's a me, Luigi, and then I go over here to Facebook and I inspect. If Luigi shows up here, we're in trouble. Document.cookie. Yeah, see, thank goodness it's not there. They are in separate regions, which is what you want, and that's the default That's the like the default behavior. This is what we ship right now. So Crushed Optimist goes, the problem is the private browsing icon isn't showing below the close window icon above the menu burger icon. Does by default on mine. Crushed Optimist, you have permanent private browsing enabled, like perma always on private browsing. Is that the case? I'll wait for you to answer. In the meantime, let's actually look at the bug now. We can read it through. No, I don't have that mode enabled. Right. So the issue, I think the issue is a little complicated because, well, let's kind of read through it. We're going to get past the start business where I'm like, oh no, we seem to be having a cookie leak. And our security people are like, oh, it's actually okay. Here's why. And I was able to reproduce it. Let's open up the bug. Because originally this bug was like, I had filed it as like this is a security issue. So let's figure this out. And now we've opened it up because it turns out this is just sort of more like user confusion or confusing UI. And let's see. Here's the steps to reproduce. If this is referring to the jump list, this might be as simple as tweaking such and such to not add private window task when permanent private browsing is enabled. We also keep the private browsing mode item in the main menu. We can either hide them from both the jump list and the main menu, or we adjust the code that opens the window from the jump list to not open about private browsing here when permanent private browsing mode is enabled. Adjust the code that opens the window from the jump list to not open about private browsing. So let's go see if we can go a little bit deeper into why we don't want to show about private browsing whenever private browsing mode is enabled by default. Let's see if we can sort of suss that out. So what's the preference again? It's browser private browsing auto start. That's the preference, and then looks like it's almost like we intentionally hang on, without this line, when the user is intentionally in private browsing mode all the time, then we don't want the browser to seem like it. I think we made that choice intentionally. Let's see if I can find this. Permanent private browsing new tab pages have a consistent tab title. It seems like we made that intentional choice 2 years ago. What about like the hiding of the icon in the title bar? That I want to get. I want to understand. That might actually be something that was in our CSS. No? Okay. What about in tab browser tabs, components, search, window watcher, auto start pref in private browsing utils? Like, what is that item? Let me just remind myself what that item is. This sort of the private browsing decoration on the window. If we can find out what it is, we can find the logic that's showing it or hiding it. Whoops, no, don't print. I want you to open a private. Have I forgotten how to open a private browsing window? It's Command Shift P, that's why. Whoops. Okay, and there's that item at the top there, in the top right. Let's see what it is. Private browsing indicator. And when do we hide it? If we're not in temporary private browsing mode, then we hide it. Indicator. And why? Just want to see if I can fully understand the context. Accessibility, they overlap. Private browsing indicator. Is there resolved private indicator? Let's see if we can find some of this stuff out. Permanent. Missing. One star from command line or never remember history. This was resolved duplicate of this. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe this is... So maybe it was not intentional. Maybe that's the issue, is that we want to show the private browsing mode, the icon. Let's see what else is in here. Not present when launched with the dash private switch. Duplicate. Which is a duplicate. Seems like this is kind of all falling back to this. So I wonder there. Let's write down a couple of ideas. And I feel like I might not be able to fix this immediately, but we can try some things. So let's start by, in my notes here, some ideas. Show a private browsing window indicator anytime we're in permanent private browsing. I guess part of the issue there is like how we deal with containers. Because if you're in a permanent private browsing window, or if you're in a private browsing window in general, what do we do with containers? I'm actually curious about that myself. Private browsing, can you open a container over here? No, we prevent you from opening containers. Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. Containers. That makes a lot of sense. Because that would be even more confusing. And what about if we've got... Can we enable containers if we've got permanent private browsing enabled? Preferences. History. Where's history? It's custom setting. Always use private browsing mode. Can I install containers? And how does that work? Whoops. Okay, good. It doesn't, the item doesn't show up actually because we're in a private browsing window. So it's a little confusing. And I wonder if we can make things less confusing by making it more obvious to the user that they're in private browsing mode. And one way of doing that actually is by updating that rule. Like it's very, like we can always update browser shared tabs. What are these? Display none for the indicator. What's the other ones? Background color, value. private browsing mode. Okay, positioning of some stuff. Some CSS. The tab panels, if we're in private browsing mode, we change the background color for high contrast themes on Windows. So I wonder if in our case, all we want is to just reveal the indicator, I think. So let's see what that's like. Let's just try and reveal the indicator. Where is it? What was this file? Browser shared. Indicator. Private browsing mode. So like the private browsing indicator with label. We're going to just make it so that anytime you're in private browsing mode. New indicator. What's this? Private browsing new indicator. Huh. Is that? What is that? Maybe we're mucking about with a new indicator. Maybe. Okay. Well, let's not worry about that for now. Let's just see what it will take to make the old one appear. So I've changed those rules. And what were the other rules? I just had the source in front of me, didn't I? Search Fox, yeah. That's that. So that hides it. That's new indicator. What I want is private browsing mode equals temporary. So those two I think are fine. That might actually get us quite a bit of the way there. So let's restart and take a look. So now we've got our indicator showing up here, which is nice. The other thing is that we've got this menu item showing up here, which, that doesn't make any sense. Like that, these are synonymous. New private window is synonymous with new window. So I wonder if we should just be, in this particular case, hiding new private window. I don't think we would necessarily want to show like a new normal window. We probably just want to like, if the user is expecting to like never collect stuff because they're always in private browsing, we should make it very difficult for them to maintain state accidentally, because that's like the worst case scenario for, depending on your like threat model, the worst case scenario is leaving some tracks behind. So we want to make it kind of difficult for a user to accidentally do that. I'm seeing a bunch of chatter. If this is intended behavior, then removing the open new window would be better than removing new private window from the jump list. So maybe that makes sense. Yeah, maybe it should always be new private window. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that makes more sense. Could it be that if you flip the switch to always be in private browsing, you maybe don't want that indicator, even though personally it sounds better to always show the indicator? Yeah, that's possible. And that's something that I don't really have a great answer for. I think our privacy and security people might actually have more context for it, because I can imagine for a person who has private, there might be a set of people for whom turning on always private browsing mode and on, you want to kind of do it without it being obvious, Maybe you're in like a dangerous situation where you don't want someone from across the room to be able to tell, hey, I see that little purple thing in the corner. You're not supposed to be doing that. And we definitely don't want to put those people in danger. As as an idea for episode 300, what do you think about inviting someone like Alessandro Castellani from the Thunderbird team and give the Thunderbirds some love for one episode? Would be an interesting combination of your past and the present with the big update and their future plans with Thunderbird at 114 and K9 Mail. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, maybe I will do that. I don't think I've ever actually spoken to Alessandro. I've seen his stream a couple of times. I love Thunderbird. It's my first project I worked on for Mozilla. You know what it might be interesting to do actually is try some Thunderbird development for episode 300. Maybe I'll do I'll try and fix a Thunderbird bug. It's been a while. Let's see. The Tor browser also uses permanent private mode, and there is an issue about this as well. Big Diff writes. Let's take a look. Thanks, Big Diff. So the Tor browser, if you're not familiar with it, is a very privacy-centric, maybe the most privacy-centric browser I'm aware of. It's based on Firefox, but it has like Tor enabled by default. It turns off a bunch of like a lot of vectors for tracking, fingerprint resistance. The web becomes a very different place in the Tor browser, but if you're in the situation where you do not want to be tracked and you want to communicate like very securely and anonymously, the Tor browser is a pretty good choice. And there's a conversation. Yeah, I don't know what the right move is, because I almost feel like what we want is the label of new window to actually be new private window. I think that's maybe what we want. And for the new private window keyboard shortcut to not do anything. Like, we don't want people to... I mean, they are all private browsing windows in the end, so that when you shut down the browser, all of that state's going to go away. But we don't want people to make the mistake of thinking that because they've opened a private window while in permanent private browsing mode, that one window has its own like little pocket. I would want to see the private browsing mode icon. If I said to always, yeah, some people want to see the icon. Yeah, I agree. Like, I personally would want to as well. I'm going to leave it up to the privacy and security folk to make the final call. This is kind of their bread and butter. But I thought I'd check this out because it was my friend who I filed the bug on behalf for. So we'll let them make the call. But for now, let's leave the patch the way it is that shows this icon. Yeah, every window that it's opening up has it. Let's try and do the next thing, which is, let's see what happens. Can we make it so that... what's the right move? Do we hide new window? The thing is, that's a useful keyboard shortcut, Command N. I almost want to like relabel this, have this be like almost just disable this one and just have new private window be the label for this button. That's what I kind of expect. And then there are a couple of other vectors as well, because like is there like a new private window? Yeah, this button, we'd need to disable that because like it's effectively the same as new window, and we don't want that confusion. Woo, man, there's a lot going on. And then we've got like the root issue, at least for me, which is like over here, like this item here, new private window. Should probably just say new window, or maybe it should. Maybe we're doing the right thing and it says new private window. Is it already like doing the right thing and it's hiding the new window? Like maybe this is the solution already on Mac OS works. It's just on Windows that it's not. So yeah, let's see what we can do about this. Let's start by doing a checklist. So that's done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to relabel the new window button to be new private window, and hide the actual new private window menu item. My menu items. We still want the commands available. Now, the good news is that because of the command pattern, I suspect we can actually do this in one shot, because there are a couple different places where we've got this menu item here and here. And I got a feeling we can one-shot this using the command pattern. Let me just refresh my memory, though. Under browser sets, tools, private browsing, right here. This is the command for opening a private browsing window. And there's the keyboard shortcut there. And where's the menu command for it? Is it browser menu bar? Yeah, right there. It's using that command. So if I, for example, whoopsie daisy, didn't mean to open up VLC. If I open up the console and I say document get element by ID, and I like get that command, can I make it hidden? I'm gonna make the command hidden. So now that item goes away. We don't have, where's new window though? What the, whoops. Where's new window? Have we just did, what in the world? New private window right there. So do we already do the work of hiding new window whenever we're in permanent private browsing mode? We might actually do that. So I think we've kind of gotten the job halfway done. There's already some work that relabels. So it looks like half of this is done. Oh man, this is kind of a mess, eh? Let me see if I can find that menu item. New navigator is going to be what opens up the new window. Document get element by ID. Let's see how they did it. It looks like it was rewired to open up tools private browsing. And let's see who did that, because we can probably take advantage. So when the window initializes, one of the things we do is we get whether or not... Oh, you can make it so that private browsing is fully disabled. Okay, that's interesting. It's nothing I've ever done before, but okay. Oh, I guess it's a enterprise policy. All right, that makes sense. And then over here in customize mode, what set new navigators command, like, because you saw that, right? Like new navigators, navigators command was tools private browsing. So what's setting that? Let's see if we can find out. Oh, maybe this is it. Here we go. If, okay, here we go. Private browsing UI. If we've got permanent private browsing, then we do this work. We go like, okay, let's get at the command. Let's get at the private window command. If they both exist, then we're going to hide the private window the menu. We're just hiding the menu. Okay. And then we're going to update the label. Okay, I think we can do better. I think we can actually do better here by hiding the command. let's just to sort of like show you that again. Whenever we get the new private navigator, is that what it was called? New private window. Oh, sorry, the command. It was here. Hidden. True. So that hid, or it's supposed to hide tools private browsing. Does it not hide it? Oh, this is just flat out broken. What's going on here? Document.get element by ID tools private browsing hidden. False. True. Okay. So with it hidden, we hide the item here. And does the keyboard shortcut still work? Yes, it does. So I think we can make this better over in browser.js. What base browser? Browser.js. Private browsing. That was like permanent private browsing. Okay, here we go. So if we have permanent private browsing, we're going to go ahead and instead of updating just the menu, what would be amazing? Oh, I see. We can't necessarily update all of the labels via the command because of the localization strings being different for menus and toolbar things. Oh yeah, Smurf D, I agree that we want the keyboard shortcut to still be around. The good news is that even when it's hidden, the keyboard shortcut works. Like I'm hitting Command Shift P and it'll still open. We still want that keyboard shortcut, I think. But the menu items aren't there, and we've if we can make it so that it says new private window here instead, that might be best. So I now realize that we've gotten by hiding the command though. Maybe we're doing the wrong thing because we want. Man, I got a feeling our command stuff is broken. But you want new private window to be the string, and you want it pointed at the private window command. I see. Okay. So, yeah, doing it by the command isn't going to work. Because ultimately we want to route the new window through that command. New window, invocation through that command. So we don't want to hide it. Okay, we just have to relabel the other buttons. All right. Let relabel items to relabel. We're going to say menu, new navigator, menu, new private window. It's not just to relabel, it's items to, it's new window, new window attribute map or element map. And then maybe we should put a comment here to do document what's going on. And then we'll say there's another one, which is the Customizable widgets. Customizable. No, not the panel menu. The app menu, view cache, private window button. This thing. So we're going to do the same thing here. Say, hey, all right. Except that instead of access key, it's just key. These are toolbar buttons, which is different from menu items. Okay, so not quite, everybody. Menu bar entries. We're gonna adjust the app menu and toolbar buttons in the same way. Let new window menu item. New window menu item. Okay, and so let new window app menu item equal document get element by ID, and we're gonna get at this thing. Let new private app private window app menu item equals document get element by ID. This thing. And then, presuming they exist, app menu and new private window app menu item. Then we're gonna do the same thing. It's exactly the same thing, except some of the attributes are gonna be different. We're gonna say that the new private one is hidden, and we're gonna make sure that the labels have been updated. And then it's not the access key, it's the key attribute. And I think I can just use a property getter on that, right? Document get element by ID key. Key access key? No. Get attribute key. Yeah, okay. New app menu item, set attribute key, new private window item, get attribute key. And then the command, I think that, yep. That I think will do it for the app menu. And then what about the customizable widgets here? We've got ourselves a private window thing. Private browsing utils, private browsing button. If private, if it enabled, on command. And then how do I check to see, like, should be disabled? Disabled. On view showing, disabled. How do I make it so that the command, the node is disabled? I just have to remember customizable, customizable widgets. No, customizable UI rather. Disabled equals widget disabled, data disabled from normalized Widget, which comes from the properties when we create the widget. And so I think it might actually be here, disabled. Oh, we won't actually know. It really depends on whether or not, what is it? Oh yeah, we can use this. Disabled. Let's see what happens if we do that. Let's restart. So we've got our permanent private browsing window here. Let's go to the menu. So we still see new window and new private window. So that's annoying. Maybe I forgot. It's because I forgot to build. Sometime maybe I forgot the browser is browser.js pre-processed. Maybe let's just double check. Tell your friends about Bergamo, aka the client-side translation stuff. That is so neat. I love that stuff. See, it's still there. What's going wrong? Is there a... Huh. Okay, and what about the widget? We'll investigate the menu thing in a second, but if I put this here... Yeah, it's disabled, so that's good. That makes sense, because you basically want, I think, the new window one. To be what's available. It's almost like redundant if it's enabled. Okay, so let's find out why this other thing is failing over here. For normal windows, who calls init? That's called right at the beginning. So this is definitely being called. Let's set a breakpoint right here. Let's shut down. Build, and then use the debugger to step through this stuff. All right. Okay, opening up a new window. Okay, we got our breakpoint here. Yep. We get our app menu. Do those things exist? I wonder if they don't exist. That's why. Okay, yeah, they're lazy. That's why. So even though that's they're lazy. Just trying to remember if there's a way we can like force those things to populate in the view cache. It's like this show subview init. So like template, get notification panel. What causes the items to attach? Init elements. No, that's not quite it. Listener. We register the menu panel. I wonder if that's where it is. So I wonder if suppress panel UI. Right at the very beginning. So I don't think this is meant to be called more than once. but it's called, when is it called? After delayed startup. Interesting. And where's the private browsing stuff done? G private browsing. This is an on load. I wonder if we can do this. What could we get away with moving the G private browsing UI and init stuff after panel UI init? Like, could we do this? Let me just double check what this does. Modifies some DOM. Updates the title bar. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. We'll do it a little bit later. Let's see what happens. Because it's just updating some DOM, so maybe there's like one frame. But like if it's just the title bar itself isn't shown by default. So maybe we can sacrifice doing it earlier for doing it later after the first paint. Huh. Still shows up there. What the heck? Let's put our breakpoint here again. Put a new window. Are those things? They still don't exist. When do these things get inserted? Let's try and get them now. Can I get them now before they've... So it finally does open, but when do they get inserted? This is from a template from the view cache. And what manipulates the view cache? Browser sync, browser main pop-up. Oh. So maybe I can just reach in. Turns the element for nodes that are lazily loaded, the DOM should be retrieved from the view cache template. Oh, fantastic. So maybe I can do this. Panel multi-view, get view node. Yeah. Okay, so I can put that other stuff back. Let me put that back there. And then down here we'll go, hey, panel multi-view, get view node, document, and then pass that. I think that'll work. Document. All right, let's try that. So yeah, I don't know about the indicator, but at the very least, I feel like updating these menu items is a good first step. And then we can start thinking about the jump list. I've only got like 15 minutes left, but maybe we can look at that next. Okay, so we're doing the right thing there. It does look like we want to update this other part, which is the keyboard combination. I'm trying to remember what that is. Key, menu item, new tab. Just the label. And then we update the key. Navigator tab. Key. I feel like there's a component that does this stuff specially. It's like the shortcut Utils, shortcut keys. Keys, prettify shortcut. Prettify element. Key string, prettify shortcut. I think that's it. And when does that happen? In customizable UI, when we build the widget. Over there. Panel UI, set attribute shortcut. Ah. So I think actually what we want to do is also move the shortcut attribute over here. So it's new window app menu item set attribute shortcut new private window menu item get attribute. And yet it's kind of the other way around, right? Like, hang on. We want the new we don't want this. I think we just want to get rid of that altogether. That's maybe what we want. Label and command. Let's just see what it looks like now. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we wanted the whole time. New window. Now this one says new private window. New window. Am I doing this wrong? Hold on a second. New private window hidden. Then say new window is new private window app menu item label. Get the label from new private window app menu. What the heck? So is this part not happening? All right, let's do our breakpoints again. Nope. Okay, hit our breakpoints. Fast forward. We're gonna do that, and then new window app menu item. That's that one. Dot label. Oh, you know what? I think the issue is that new private window menu item dot label. Item. Yeah. These things haven't been translated yet because they're still outside of the DOM. So we actually, instead of moving the labels, we're going to move the data L10N ID. Private window app menu. There's actually an API for this. We're going to say document L10N set attributes. New window app menu item. And we're going to get at the new private window app menu item. So that's an inconsistency. I've got like a capitalized I here. Let's do that. Let's do capitalized I. Menu item. We're going to say, hey, set attributes on the new window app menu item to the new private window app menu item. Get attribute data L10N ID. We'll let Jslint sort that out. Or pretty or whatever. Is that? I can't believe it's happy with that. It's really long. You sure? Okay. Let's see. Run. Wasn't it so that you thought it should be new private window in the menu? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping this next... Man. That's what I was hoping would have happened. Okay. Doot. Okay, hold on. So new window app menu. Yeah. The data L10N ID has not been set. Maybe I don't want to use this API. Maybe I just want to set the... Oh! This... I got like some half-broken JavaScript in here too. Like... Here's what I want. Okay. Let's try that. And I had an error in Jslint. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what that's all about. What this error is. This has been sitting here for a while. It's like, hey, I don't understand globals or something. Or could not load globals from invalid left-hand assignment something or other. But it seems okay with it now. Okay, so we've got our... Come on. What do I need to build this? What's happening, everyone? Okay, maybe we'll solve this and then I'll get to the jump list next week. Because I'm starting to run out of time. But we've gotten part of the way. Modes. So difficult. There we go. There it is. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. Hey, why is that still here? That should be gone. So, what did I break? New private window menu item hidden. And now it's gone. What in the world? All right, new private window. That's right. That's right. This all looks right. Okay. Now, just for my own curiosity, where would the jump list stuff be? According to Ben Hearsome, it'd be over here on startup for the jump list stuff. We probably want to change the tasks based on whether or not permanent private browsing window is enabled. What is this task? Okay, you get a title, a description, and it's some args. New window. So really what should happen is the title for new window should be updated to be the private browsing one. And then we disable, like we don't, I'm actually curious to know what'll happen if, I'm actually curious what happens. We've got 5 minutes. Let's figure this out. If I, how do I do this in a local build? I think I have to configure Firefox to never ask for the profile manager. So, run, hang on, run P. Yeah. Wait. Not quite. Well, I guess. All right. Yeah, we'll use the test profile. Or maybe I'll create a new profile. I'm going to call it like PB mode. All right, we'll use that guy. And that will be the one by default. And now if I right click on this and say like new private window, what in the world? I don't think this this jump list stuff is designed to handle like I don't think it's designed to handle like local builds. I'm gonna have to talk to someone, I think. New tab, does new tab even work? I'm gonna have to talk to one of our Windows devs about how to like have you added the dash P to shortcut in Windows? No. Right click. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That was the right call. Not now. Don't do that. Okay, so now that we've got our local build, let us open up Sublime. Let's open here. Let's go to what is it? Windows jump lists. Jump list? What was that file called? Windows jump lists .jsm. Yeah. What's the heck? What's the heck? Browser modules. Windows jump list right here. Okay. Now if I say hang on. If I tell it to like I think this is a private browsing window. Or let's put it into always private browsing mode. That's the first step. Preferences. History. Always use private browsing mode. Okay. And the way we can check that, because we don't have the icon here, we don't have that patch, is private browsing utils is window private window. True. Okay. Now let's right click on the task menu and say new window. Open a new window. Interesting. I got a feeling this one is not private. Let's double check. Private browsing utils is window private window. False. So I think we're gonna have to do something slightly different. I think we're gonna want to hide the new window item and just have open like the new private window one if permanent private browsing is enabled. And maybe what do we do about this like new tab thing? All right, I'm gonna have to talk to some of our Windows people about this. Also, actually, hang on. Run PB mode. Was I doing that right? Was I in the right? I noticed that the background color was a different theme. I got a feeling I'm screwing up here. Preferences, history. Use custom. Always use private browser. Restart. Let's just double check here. Let's just double check. Is window private? Yes. Right click. New window. It's very upset with that. All right, I'm gonna have to talk to our yeah, because I think I was using like my default dev profile before, and I think it was using like the PB mode profile when I did this. What a mess. All right, I'm gonna go talk to some of our privacy and security people and Windows folks about this, and I will get back to you. Maybe next week I'll let you know where I got with this. And if you're curious, you can follow along in the ticket, which I've linked to in the agenda. Hey, thank you so much for watching The Joy of Coding. I hope that was interesting. You can follow along that bug in 1779280. The link to that bug is here in the agenda. You can also rate this episode. Let me know what you thought. You can fill out this form. Right, not next week. I'm going to be on vacation, so maybe the week after. But in the meantime, check out Bergamo. translate stuff. Tell your friends. Holy smokes, what a cool thing, eh? Like, I'm very pleased by this. I'm very pleased by this development in German. I don't know if that's right. Let's flip it around. Yes. Yes. Stabilized. All right. Yeah. All local. No server. I love it. Okay. Have yourselves a great couple of weeks. I will see you the week after next. And have a lot of fun. Have fun doing whatever it is you're doing. And I'll see you soon. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.